Welcome, fans, to another special episode of Rangers Ed. This is your host, Cousin Ed, here with my co-host, Little Ed. What's up, buddy?
How we doing, cuz?
I see
Rocking
you got.
my what?
I see you got the bracket updated in the background.
I do. My homemade bracket. Vegas is officially slotted as the Stanley Cup champions, and I'm rocking my American flag tank top because not only is it the anniversary of the last Rangers Stanley Cup, it's also Flag Day. So,
Oh,
so happy Flag Day, everyone! So, got my American flag tank top. And since I'm rocking a tank top, I have to apply my Mad Rabbit tattoo aid. So
yeah, I think you have to when you're going to show the guns like that. You're going to have to rub some
absolutely.
oil on them.
Yeah, so head on over to Mad Rabbit Tattoo, or no, just madrabbit.com and use promo code EDPOD to bring your old tattoos back to life.
Love it. Love it. Coach Ed's over there still with his Panthers jersey, or I guess Little Ed's Panthers jersey, and his
the
Panthers
blanket.
comforter. What's up, Coach?
It was a little rough last night watching that game. I thought they would have made it more exciting.
It was a brutal game, man. Was it 9-3?
Once I
I
saw
mean,
Matthew Tkachuk was out, they didn't really stand a chance.
Oh, I didn't even watch the third period. I fell asleep, but I saw the second period was dominant. It was incredible.
Wait, you didn't see Brett Howden lift the Stanley Cup?
I saved that anguish for you. His name is on the Stanley Cup, a guy who you said was a waste of a draft pick.
He wasn't even drafted by the Rangers, so I wouldn't.
Not
have
only
said
is he
that.
on the Stanley Cup, he's on Mark Stone's line, and Mark Stone had a hat trick.
Yeah. No, he played well in the playoffs for sure. So congrats to him, ex-Ranger. Another ex-Ranger to go on and win the Stanley Cup with another team. Add him to the list of the many. Carl Hagelin, yada, yada, yada. So congrats to Howden. Mikey Produces, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, fellas? Excited for this one. Another.
You're rocking the Panarin look tonight.
Yes, I am. I don't know if he stole it from me or if I stole it from him, but
You're just missing the leather jacket.
I think I got one.
Oh, you should have rocked it. That would have been hilarious.
Oh, geez. So yeah, we
just needed the bread to go like this.
We got a couple things to cover. The Rangers have a new head coach. The search is over. Peter Laviolette has been named the Rangers' next coach, taking over for Gerard Gallant. Laviolette, this is his fifth team in the Metropolitan Division that he's coaching. He's coached four other teams in the Metro: Washington, Carolina, the Islanders, and Philadelphia. He has a 752, 503, 175 record. He's 76 and 72 in the playoffs. He also has coached the U.S. Olympic team in 2006. He's coached the World Championships 3 times, and he's won a Stanley Cup with Carolina. So got quite the resume. American coach, comes with a reputation of knowing when to give a speech, knowing when not to. He's a player's coach, but he demands excellence. I was reading in the Post today that he has a very strict system, so should make a lot of fans happy. He's an offensive-minded coach that preaches structure on defense. I mean, look, it's hard to follow what all these coaches do. He's been around the block. He's been successful. Coach, you've wanted Laviolette from the get-go, so I guess I'll start with you on Laviolette. You're happy, I take it?
Yeah, I'm very happy. I mean, I don't know enough about Hines, but it's Laviolette's success is all the stats you just read. I can't see him not doing a good job. I mean, I thought Gallant did a good job, but we'll see what happens. The thing about Laviolette is it seems like when he was with the Islanders, I loved it. That, they made the playoffs in his second year, then they fired him. So there's always that strange thing that's going on. I don't understand what it is, but I guess you just don't get along with the GM or something happens and it just doesn't work out. I think when the coach GM relationship doesn't sync, it makes things a lot more difficult. I'm sure the players realize tensions and the whole organization.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, who knows why these coaches get fired? I think they just have a natural shelf life, and with a team. There's only so long that certain players are going to listen to what the coach says, and they just tune you out eventually. They get used to you, they get comfortable. Little Ed, I mean, that seems to happen at Gallant everywhere he goes. Happens to every coach, I think.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like a win now, like you said, been saying it's a safe choice for Drury. I like you said, the idea of the system. I was listening to the radio today, and that's really all they spoke about. He's a very systems coach, defensive structure, which I think the Rangers definitely need. We spoke about Keandre Miller needing a little, I don't know, help in that department, whatever you want to call it. So that should help him a little bit. And yeah, I think it's gonna wake Panarin up a little bit. He's like a kind of take no crap coach. So I think we might see Panarin sit on the bench a little bit, where Gallant was a little afraid to do that last year. We spoke about that a ton. So players like him, Kreider, when he's not performing, even Zibanejad, if he has an off game, and you got to sit these guys on a bench and you got to set an example. The only thing I worry about is he's not going to worry about the kids either, because they're in the win now mode, and that's the only thing that worries me. We're just going to see another year of them kind of being middle of the pack.
Well, so I agree with that, but I read something a little bit encouraging about that today. So in Nashville, Laviolette took the Predators to the Stanley Cup Finals, and at the time, Philip Forsberg and Roman Josi were both a huge part of that team, and were very young. So he is willing to give opportunity to young players. I just think they have to perform. Whereas I feel like other coaches that we've seen with these guys, they just don't get those chances for a significant period. They don't get a chance to stay there. They're just shuffled right back to the third line the second that there's no production.
Well, I think you guys have to look at the picture. I know you don't like Lindy Ruff, but he gave these kids a system, and they bought into it, and they did real well. So they're going to have an opportunity to take his system in and succeed in it. And if they don't, they're not going to play. I think that's a fair deal.
But I think a big thing they were stressing or talking about also is like these older coaches, especially we see Babcock getting hired by the Columbus. Like, it's a matter of, I actually learned a thing or two by listening to it too. You have to, the coach also has to adapt to the players. It's not necessarily just the players adapting to the coach. So if Peter Laviolette comes in and just is teaching the same exact system he was teaching with the Capitals, or teaching with Philly, or teaching with the Islanders or whatever, then that's kind of like an old system. It probably went stale a little bit, and that's probably why he continuously lost his job. And I think that's where the GM coach relationship comes in, because Drury's got to be pushing like Kakko and Laffy and Miller and all these younger guys down the coach's throat a little bit. But like, maybe that's where Gallant went off, or they didn't agree. Whereas hopefully Laviolette kind of takes Drury's advice, and they're able to work together a little bit. And then, like I said, he's got to kind of teach a system that's going to work for Laffy and Kakko's style of play also.
Exactly. I agree 100%. It can't just be, this is my system and you need to fit in it. That's not going to succeed. You have to assess as a coach, right, Coach? I mean,
it depends on the type of.
You look at your players.
You
look at your players and you say, I don't have any skill on this team. I need to have a super structured system. They need to be, within this defensive structure, and we got to, collapse and just hope for 2-1 victories. Or you could say, I got a ton of skill. I can open up my system. Let me employ this system instead. He has to assess the roster and use the system that fits the roster. He can't just be like, this is my system.
I agree 100%. You have to adapt to the personnel.
Yeah.
But
let's give him a chance. I think
he's
a little upset, but let's give him a chance.
Over the years, especially.
No, go ahead, bud.
No, I was just going to say, over the years, especially with Stony Brook, we've been trying to kind of just like build the culture and build the program up a little bit. We haven't had a lot of talent on the team, so we kind of just teach a very simple structure. I mean, I was kind of thinking about it a little bit, looking ahead. We're starting to get a little bit more talent, so I mean, you and I have to start thinking about different alternatives or different systems, whatever you want to call it, to adapt. So that was a comparison I wanted to bring up.
Yeah, I think a big part of coaching is I listen to Ken Danico a lot when he's on NHL, and he tells a story about Lamoriello when he came into the league. Obviously, when you're in juniors, you're a good player and you excel a lot more at that level. And then you get to the NHL, and Lamoriello basically told him, if you don't just crack down and play defense, you're not going to be in the league that long. And he listened to him and he said, this is my skill level. This is a guy who knows. And he went to work and he was in the league at 18 years, 3 Stanley Cups, whatever the number is close to that. So I think that's what makes the better coaches when they're fair and they say, Laffy, I think you're a 25 goal scorer. This is what you need to do to get there. And then he has to, assess his talent and get there. I don't think Laviolette's going to say, I want you just playing defense and that's it. I don't think he's that bad. I don't know him that well, obviously. He never coached the Rangers, but
no, what you're saying makes sense, though. He has to identify – he has to look at Lafreniere in training camp and preseason and say, okay, look at tape and say, hey, kid, you got a ton of talent. These are your strengths. These are your weaknesses. This is my system. I think you fit into the system in this way. This is what you need to be doing to be successful in this system and to put up points. And then he has to give him opportunities to play. He can't play 13 minutes, right? He's got to play first line. He's got to get power play time. So, I mean, that's just the reality. Without the minutes, the system and the coaching and the friendship with the coach and all that is great, but none of that matters if he doesn't have minutes. He's got to play.
I think one of the big mistakes, again, you look at the success in the playoffs, you look at Vegas, all you kept hearing is whenever they interviewed Cassidy, he's like, I'm rolling the 4 lines and we're all excelling at everything they're doing. They're all doing their job. Yeah, their skill line isn't dumping it in as much, but their 3rd and 4th lines are dumping it in and they're doing their job. And he didn't have to worry about who he put out, when or where. The pace and the tempo was up and they just took it to every team they played. And to me, that's
sounds
how
nice. When's the last time we saw that?
That's how it should. That's how it should be. And Zibanejad and them shouldn't be getting 25 minutes and Laffy getting 13. They should be getting, other than power play time, they should be getting very close to the, Zibby should be getting maybe 16 minutes, Laffy 14 minutes. Not him. I'm talking about across the board.
The problem
is Zibby gets too much penalty kill also.
The problem with that
is we'll take that away. I'm saying you have to count the even strength minutes.
Yeah, even strength time for sure. But you also have to give the kids special teams minutes. I mean, there's no reason Capo Caco should not be killing penalties. There's just no. He should be a penalty killer. I don't see why he wouldn't be out there on a penalty kill.
Laffy maybe not, but Caco definitely.
Yeah, but Caco should be on the power play and the penalty kill. I mean, he just should be. He should be out there 18, 20 minutes.
You got to even out the minutes over 82 games. Very difficult.
We'll see what he does. It's going to be something to keep an eye on. But, I mean, again, their opportunity should be there for the kids. You're looking at a bunch of free agents who are not going to fit within the cap. Barring a crazy offer sheet to Laffy.
Crazy offer sheet.
Reasonable cap hit.
We're getting double feedback, Mike. Is that you?
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
Headphones
anyway,
die.
So barring that reasonable cap hit and an offer sheet, I mean, he should be back on a reasonable cap hit. So then with that in place, you're going to have like the top 6 is going to be Laffy, Caco, and Panarin and Kreider. Those are your top 6 wingers, right? So fit them in. I know 3 of them are left wingers. One of them needs to play right wing, or spread out Kreider to the 3rd line and find a top 6 right wing. But Laffy needs to be in that top 6, and so does Caco. And let's see what happens. And if it doesn't work, then reassess again. But I think we have to give Laviolette a chance. He is very successful.
I don't think we have a choice.
Well, as fans, we could just say, this is look, because I don't really like the hire in the sense I just didn't want a guy like this. I wanted an up and coming. I want to find a John Cooper. That's what every fan wants, whether it was Knobloch or a Jay Leach or whatever. But that was never really going to happen. So I think as fans, we just got to put aside, if you don't like the hire, just put that aside and let's see what happens. I mean, I was reading something else today. It was interesting. the Final Four this year was Paul Maurice, who's a retread coach in a new team with a new team. Bruce Cassidy, another retread coach with a new team, right? Stanley Cup champion. Rod Brindamore, who obviously is like a John Cooper type, and Pete DeBoer in Dallas, who's another retread coach with like his third or fourth team. So there really is no answer here. It's not like Laviolette can't just win the Stanley Cup this year. Easily could. Final Four could be a possibility. Who knows? I mean, there's just no blueprint for hiring a coach. It just has to be the right fit at the right time. And we have to trust that the Rangers took their time to evaluate that and that they're right. I don't know what else to do. Otherwise, in 2 years, we'll be rebuilding. We'll have a new coach, and we'll be in a different place. So we'll see. But I also should have done this to start. I actually think I said I was going to. We should congratulate Vegas in their 6th NHL season. They won the Stanley Cup last night, June 13th, 2023, 1 day shy of today, June 14th, which is 29 years to the day that the New York Rangers last won the Stanley Cup. All of us were alive. Some of us were very young. So I just wanted to kind of open that up. And, 29 years. Remember, when the Rangers won, it was 54 years since they won the Cup. We are more than halfway to that number. Can you imagine waiting another 25 years for the Rangers to win the Stanley Cup? Can you imagine waiting that?
I don't know if we could do the show for that long without a cup.
25 years. More than they've already been waiting. But anyway, so I thought we'd start with Coach.
I'll be 85 years old.
Yeah, I'll be your age.
That blanket.
So I thought we'd start with Coach because you were the only adult at the time, and just open it up. Like, what was like one memory you have from that year? Whether it's a camaraderie memory, a game, a play, whatever, an interview. I don't know. What is your number one memory from that season that you take?
I mean, I don't have that vivid memory like my buddy Uncle Rob. He remembers plays and this and that. Other than that final face-off when Messier jumped in and cross-checked, and I don't remember every play and stuff. But my biggest memory is
you do have the DVD box right behind you if you ever wanted to pop those in. If you ever wanted to take the clear wrap off of it,
and then find a DVD player.
That's another challenge.
My biggest memory would be the parade, going to the parade and the amount of people and the speeches and
you went to the parade. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Me, Eddie was there too.
Yeah. Wow. Well, Eddie was
me, Big Daddy, Christopher.
3.5.
That's amazing though. Jeez. So was there any player there that was wasted or
it wasn't anything? Now, not that I can remember it, nothing like that.
Did you? Because I was going to say you saw Phil Kessel's interview, right?
That was so funny.
No, I didn't.
Jackie Redmond. Yeah, she asked him, what his plans were for the night, and he said, "Just try not to throw up." So I thought that was good, but that's the way it is now.
She had no idea how to react. It was hilarious.
Yeah,
send you the video after.
I feel ever since the Ovechkin year, it's been just wild.
I mean, good for him, man. He has a great career if it's not over. I mean, I know he wasn't part of this playoff run, but he deserves to be on the Cup at some point.
Well, he's 3-time Stanley Cups. He's got 2 with Pittsburgh.
With Pittsburgh too, yeah. He put in his time.
He's got 3 cups,
and the Iron Man streak's still going.
He actually said that. I think he also told the reporter, "You guys never thought I'd win 1, and now I got 3 or something like that." So
said that when you played for Toronto.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, look, it's another example of a guy when he was on Toronto. Oh, he doesn't have what it takes to play in the playoffs. He's not going to win, and then all of a sudden he's got 3 cups. So sometimes sports is funny. It's just a very.
Speaking of guys like that, how about Jack Eichel? I mean, to tie it back in with the Rangers, first ever player to win the Cup, making $10 million or more. So that hopefully makes us feel a little bit better about Panarin. And then also
That's
Eichel
never
said
happened
himself.
before. Wow.
That's what I saw a post today. Maybe it was wrong.
No, it's probably
Right.
true. I mean, McKinnon made less. McDavid hasn't won. Pasternak made less when they won.
Matthews.
Matthews hasn't won. Marner hasn't won. Panarin hasn't
Yeah.
won. Yeah.
So, and then he even said it himself in his interview. I think it might have been with Jackie that, like he could tell and he knew, like he paid tribute or whatever, or gave a lot of credit to the coaching, but he said, like, I just matured as a player, and it takes players a lot longer than others sometimes to be able to play the two-way game and buy into a system and play the right way. And he was the second leading scorer on Vegas, and I think he had the most points in the playoffs as well. And nonstop, every analyst was talking about his two-way 200-foot game. So he was amazing out there. And like I said, hopefully that gives us a little, I don't know, confident that maybe Panarin will snap out of it with his fresh new haircut.
Well, it's just another thing. Remember, the Rangers are going to get Jack
doubt it.
Eichel. Was like the big freaking story. He goes to Vegas and wins a cup. But look, good for him after that spinal surgery he had. And
yeah, but his season wasn't all that.
story.
His season wasn't all that honky dory. There was a lot of criticism all season that he wasn't.
He broke
doing
his
what he
hand
should be
also.
doing. Yeah, I mean he peaked at the right time.
Yeah, he got hot after when he was finally like healthy after his hand towards the end of the season. He had a great, like, from the trade deadline on.
Well, he's got one more Stanley Cup than Connor McDavid. So
yeah,
but like you just said, he had more highlights of making defensive plays and back checks and whatever than he did of highlights of actual goals.
And he had the most points in the whole playoffs.
Yeah, he did a very good job.
Yeah, I was happy for him for sure. I mean, to get out of Buffalo the way that they treated him or didn't want him to get the proper surgery, and Vegas trusted him and whatever.
Well, there was a lot of people
and stuff. I thought it was a good story.
There's a lot of people that said Buffalo won that trade because of some of the way some of the players were playing on Buffalo. But
I think it was a fair trade.
I think Eichel just took care of business. So good for him.
Not only that, he proved he could take a punch. That hit from Kachuk.
Oh man,
that could have knocked someone out of the playoffs. That's
Yeah, with his spinal injury history, I was worried.
They
after that.
Inject him with like the Wolverine stuff into his that was like
adamantium or whatever it's called.
Yeah. You see that in slow mo, like his body goes in like 3 different directions. It's like the shape of an S.
Yeah,
like his neck goes one way, his back is curved, and then his legs are still going forward. It's like, how did he get up from that and then play and then almost win MVP? Like,
yeah,
who did win MVP?
Marchessault.
Jonathan Marchessault, by the way, who was a member of the Hartford Wolfpack, and the Rangers chose not to give him a contract. And then he went on to Florida and became a successful NHL player, and now is a Conn Smythe Trophy winner. So, hey, everything ties back to the Rangers, right?
Original misfit.
I saw this thing. The Rangers are like the official losers of the playoffs. It was all over Twitter. So it was like Rangers lost to New Jersey. New Jersey lost to Carolina. Carolina lost to Florida. Florida lost to Vegas. So it all connects back. If you go to the winner of the range, everything is just loser, 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 loser all the way through.
Let's go to the bracket.
Anyway. So Little Ed, your favorite memory of '94, if you have any.
No, yeah, it was 3.5 at the time. I actually remember my dad and one of his best friends at the time, or I guess one of his best friends, Van, let me pop the champagne on the porch. And I remember, like, as a little kid, like seeing the cork like go into the street, like at his house where he still lives now, and we had the Rangers jersey on a flagpole. And for some reason, like those two things, I can literally like paint a picture. And I was definitely very young, so I try and hold on to that memory. And this is good that it's reminding me again. So now I won't forget it.
Well, just remember. But the real story behind that is that the cork actually hit somebody in the eye. That's why you remember it.
Like the Happy Gilmore across the street.
You should have been on the porch.
Yeah, right. And then I vaguely remember being on my dad's shoulders at the parade and like confetti and stuff, but that might just be me like just thinking of like a typical parade. I'm not sure. That's kind of just like a more fuzzy.
It's hard. You're young, yeah.
Yeah.
Mikey, you got any memories?
Unfortunately, not. I was only 2.5, 3 at that time, but I do remember.
You're alive, at least.
Yeah, I do remember my father just talking about it pretty much every year after that. So,
yeah. So for me, my favorite memory was I was like 8, so I was a little older than you guys. But I remember during the Game 7 against New Jersey, I fell asleep, and I just remember my dad waking me up after Matteau scored, and cousin Frankie was there, and they were like shaking me.
Cousin
and I was
Frankie?
like, yeah, cousin Frank. And they were shaking me, and like I was like and they were like, we won, and of course I didn't know what was going on, so I like went to sleep. My mom was upset, whatever. I went to sleep. So then the next day we walked to. Do you remember the Red Store in Oceanside? Is that still there?
It's still there, but it's
but
not the Red
open.
Store. Yeah.
Oh, so I was walking to the Red Store with my dad, and I just remember him like explaining to me the significance of what happened and like how the play happened, and like it's just a really good memory of my dad, who obviously that one sticks with me. But yeah, just the celebrations with my dad, like it's like you, Eddie. I was little, I was 8, so like the gameplay itself, I remember from highlights and stuff.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all. No.
I don't remember that
I
stuff.
don't even remember the Ranger game like from a month ago.
And I remember before every game, my mom and I would go to the attic stairs and do a playoff dance. So I would stand there with her, and she would just do this like weird dance and make me do it with her. And that was like our secret little superstition before every single game. So for my mom,
Yeah.
Why aren't you doing it anymore?
I don't remember the dance. I'd have to ask her. I wonder if she remembers. She'd probably just make it up. Instead of she doesn't remember it.
Another quick trip down memory lane. I was watching the pregame show on NHL Network, and they had Brian Boyle on the panel. He looked great, by the way. Very awesome suit, everything. But they were talking about the Panthers coming back, like down 3-1, and they showed highlights of Boyle scoring a goal against the Kings in that game in LA to bring it back to New York for Game 5. But like I was just saying, like I barely remember a game that happened a month ago. But once they showed that highlight, I was like, oh, wow, I remember that. Like Boyle scoring that goal, top shelf over quick shoulder.
Was that Game 4 or Game 3? I think that was Game 3.
I'm pretty sure he said it was Game 4 in LA to bring it back to New York for Game 5 when they lost.
Maybe they were down 3-0. You might be right. I thought it was 2-0.
Sure that's what he said. Whatever. Either way, it was a big goal.
He's probably right. He was on the team.
Yeah, I think they would get that right on NHL Network. Yeah.
No, I think he would get it right.
And he made Drew Doughty kind of look silly, so I thought that was interesting. I was like, wow, that was a great play overall.
He was a good player,
Boyle. A little trip. I love Brian Boyle. He was the best.
He was a good player.
He had a lot. He has a lot of insight on the panel because he played for a lot of teams and he was part of a lot of playoff runs and stuff.
Rangers might have their own Boyle of the future, and Adam Edstrom. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but he's a Swedish kid in Hartford right now.
We should have him on the podcast.
He's 6'8", so he's great trying to push down the door for that fourth line role as fourth line center. That would be nice.
That's fine with me.
We'll see.
They had Boyle and Rupper, like they were doing like a little quick thing like on the bench. And they were on the end of the bench, and Boyle and Rupp were like, yeah, we've sat here a few times. We've watched a game or two from here or something like that. It was funny. It's like, yeah, this is the best seat in the house. What are you talking about? So kind of like what you were saying, like those types of players, like, yeah, they watched a lot of hockey. They didn't really participate in a lot of hockey on some of the teams that they were on and stuff. So they know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're listening to everything the coach is saying. So they're not on the ice for a lot of what they're hearing everything what the coach is saying to every line, so they know it all, or they've heard it all at least.
We're gonna bring this back to Laviolette, and just so the fans know, I did not send any of these questions out to them beforehand, so this isn't like pre-planned. Like they have no idea I'm about to ask this question, so I'm gonna put them all on the spot. In honor of Coach Ed's Doghouse, which is sponsored by Suitors Sweet Treats. Check them out for sure. What's their new website?
SuitorsSweetTreats.net. Mikey's got it up there on the
SuitersSweetTreats.net.
screen. Suitors,
Check them out.
SUTERS, and then sweettreats.net.
They do a great job with the artistic cookies for sure. Top of the line stuff. Half the cookies they send me are still in the fridge. I just don't know. I can't eat them, and at this point, I don't even know if I should eat them, even if I want to, because I've had it for like 4 months. But
I had one the other day.
Yeah, they're amazing. The Simpsons ones are crazy. They really came out so good. But anyway, so in honor of Coach Ed's Doghouse, I'm going to ask. We're going to start with Coach Ed because I like to do that to him. What player do you predict will be the first player to enter Laviolette's Doghouse? Like, it doesn't have to be forever, but there'll be a point in time where a player enters his doghouse. So the first one.
That's a tough one. What do you mean? A guy who's all of a sudden not going to be playing in a game?
No, the guy is healthy scratched or demoted or just, he's not happy with their effort. I don't know. A guy who's in the doghouse, like for Laviolette.
That's a tough one.
This is why
I'm going to go
spur of the moment.
I'm going to go with he's going to sit Panarin.
I was going to say that.
Artemi Panarin. Little Ed saying.
Yeah, I think the tone has been set. I think Drury knows it's a huge issue, and I'm sure it was something that was heavily discussed in the meetings because obviously he makes 11, 12 million, and it's a huge part of the team. So,
well, what if he comes out like gangbusters and plays great? Then he won't be in the doghouse.
Well, then
we're wrong. That's fine. I'll gladly eat that.
Faith. Eat that, unlike the 4-month-old cookies in my fridge.
I'd eat those too. They're probably still delicious.
I know.
Well, to tie it back into Meg, she vacuum seals each cookie, so like they really don't go bad. Like,
oh, that's true. They are in the vacuum seal. I never opened them, so that doesn't.
They're not vacuum sealed, but they're sealed.
Oh, so the air's not sucked out of them, but yes, they're sealed on both ends. Got it.
Anyway, Mikey, I'll let you go next.
I'm gonna go with Hedl. I think he's gonna sit Hedl. I don't think Hedel's gonna
say Hedl.
He's gonna see Hedl shy away from a hit or not go hard to the corners, and he's gonna say, "This isn't the type of players I want playing."
I hate to disagree, but I do think it's probably one of those two guys. I was gonna say Panarin as well. You guys both picked him, but I just don't. If he's gonna be a young guy, it's most likely gonna be Hedl. If it's going to be a veteran, it's most likely going to be Panarin. So I don't know which way it's going to go, but I'll go Panarin also. I just don't see him doing that to like Zibanejad, too important a player. Kreider, been there forever. Who knows? I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, but that's the example you have to set. It has to be one of those kind of players. Otherwise, you're really not setting an example.
Well, yeah, we talked about that. Remember? I mean, it could be Kreider, right? I'll go Kreider.
I was actually going to say I think Kreider's going to respond well to him for some reason. I just have a feeling it's going to be like a mutual respect thing. I think Kreider's style of play fits into Laviolette. Plus both.
Yeah, I'm really doing this just because you guys both took Panarin, but I'm going to change it for Kreider, and I'm gonna say why is it's going to be an agreement between Laviolette and Kreider, like Coach said he would do. I'm going to bench you to set an example. Just take it and, one of those side deals with the veteran.
Behind closed
doors. One of those Herb Brooks deals.
Yeah. Speaking of Panarin, so Panarin is bald, as I alluded to earlier when Mikey copied the Panarin look. Shaved his locks. A picture just started circulating. Everybody's making a huge deal out of it. So I was trying to figure out why you would do that, right? So I was looking online and see any posts about what the hell was going on, and then I saw an article from The Athletist, which I've never heard of, where there's a reporter there claiming to have spoken to a friend of Panarin's who claims that Panarin shaved his head to get rid of the forces of evil that live in his hair that will help the Rangers win the Stanley Cup. That he believes that there are forces of evil that have prevented the Rangers. Now, I don't know if this is true. I'm not trying to break news. You all can look online for this article and read it yourself. It doesn't look that like I don't know if this is true or not. I have no idea. Panarin has not spoken. I have no idea. But I just thought that is such a Panarin, like if that is a joke article, it's a good joke because that is literally something Panarin would say. Like,
Yeah, he
Yeah, but
probably
that's
did
some-
say it. Like, I'm not be surprised.
That's
But I
something
don't know
that
if
a
he's taking
goalie
it
would say.
seriously. Yeah.
and then I saw somebody post on Twitter. Krasov also shaved his locks. So I'm just wondering if there's something going on in Russia where everybody's shaving their heads. Maybe there's
In
just
unison?
like maybe there's some movement or like trend, TikTok trend or something. You shave your head.
Wouldn't you see that? Wouldn't you
I don't
see
think
that
they're allowed to
somewhere
have
then?
TikTok.
Are you next, guys?
No, I'm not. Little Ed told me because I still have hair, I have to allow it to be in existence.
Yeah, why
Yeah, I
not?
know. I have to let my hair grow. I used to buzz my head for 10 years I did that and he told me to stop. So what do you think of the shaved head Panarin though, Little Ed? I mean, aside from the look, is there anything we should draw from that or?
I mean, as silly as it sounds, like with the forces of evil, I think it's kind of just like a little bit more symbolic. Like he definitely had shorter hair in his days in Chicago and Columbus. So I think he's kind of just looking at it as like a fresh start. And like he is kind of a clown. We didn't follow him when he was in Chicago and Columbus, so I don't really know. I don't really remember how he acted, obviously off the ice. Like we see all the videos and stuff of him off the ice now. But maybe he's kind of just like, you know what? Like I got to get serious a little bit. And like as silly as it sounds, like he just looks mean in those pictures. So maybe that's just the look he's going for. And hey, I don't hate it. I mean, it's hair. It'll grow back. But Trouba did it last year too. Remember, he came into the season with short hair.
Yeah, I mean, shaved head is much different. I mean, is there, Coach? Is there any symbolic?
He probably just did it
gesture?
himself.
Forget the forces of evil thing, because like, I don't even know if that's true. I just thought it was funny. But like, is there any thing to draw from that? I mean, I think you're right. He looks like a goofball with the locks, and he looks more serious with the shaved head. I'd rather him be more serious. So maybe he's trying to just realign himself or something. I don't know, Coach. Do you think I'm crazy to suggest that or?
No, whatever it's going to take him to get himself playing at the level he needs to be. I don't know. Whatever, guys do crazy things to get themselves in line. I don't know.
Yeah, athletes are weird, right?
Coach,
that's the thing.
You look good. You play good.
Well, does he look good? Does he look better with the long hair or the shaved head? I think that's a legitimate question. I mean,
well, he kind of had that. His long hair wasn't like nice long hair like Zibanejad had. It was like, I don't know.
I mean, he's known for his hair. Like, come on, guys. Like, nobody's shaving their head unless they're going bald. Like, you don't just like, oh, I'm gonna go with a shaved head. Like,
no, that's not true. Guys do
I'm
it.
not gonna show up tomorrow to work looking like Mikey Produces. Like,
I could grow my hair out if I wanted to, but I shaved my head.
I think it looks good. I think it looks good on you. Don't get me wrong. The shaved head looks good, but it's you're doing that because your hair is thinning or you're balding. Like there's no
Mike
other reason to do it.
To shave.
Yeah.
Mike shows up.
It's a life choice.
Mike shows up to the next episode with like an afro.
With an afro.
You got to get him a rug like Sam.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wait, speaking of that, do you think we can go on eBay and buy like a Sam Rosen style toupee?
Probably.
That would be hilarious.
Let
I
me
know what
tell
I'm
you,
getting Coach Ed for his birthday.
We have to have some kind of a pool or something on how opening night's going to go with Laviolette coaching and Sam Rosen like falling off his seat.
Why? What do you think he's going to say?
I don't know. It's just going to be a shit show.
He's going to say the Rangers have a new coach, Joe, and he's been successful.
Going back to Laviolette, did he play any NHL hockey?
Yes.
Yeah,
coaching?
He played with the Rangers.
Yeah.
12
Briefly,
NHL games in his career,
yeah.
all 12 with the Rangers. Coach
Maybe
Ed
we'll
special.
reach out to Oscar and get a nice Laviolette jersey.
There you go.
And it's got to be an 88-89 Rangers jersey, though. So that's a hard one to find. 12 games played in his NHL career, all with the Rangers. 0 goals, 0 assists, 0 points, 6 penalty minutes, +2. Coach Ed special.
There you go.
Take it.
Yeah, but shout out to Oscar though.
Plus
We're gonna have
two.
to. We're gonna have
Better
to.
than
being a
Oscar's
minus,
pro
better-
snitch.
Better
Yeah.
than being a -2.
We're gonna have to hit up Oscar's
That's pretty
pro
good
snitch
for someone that's a.
89 Rangers jersey. What brand did they even use in 89?
Get him ready,
Oh,
Oscar.
Yeah, check him out on Instagram
Lovely.
at Oscars PSH. Yeah, he played for the Binghamton Rangers. Pretty decent AHL career he had, but NHL not so much. Hey, he made it there. He also won a Calder Cup with the Providence Bruins as head coach. So he's got that too. Anyway. So Peter Laviolette. Peter Laviolette, what number was he with the Rangers?
Didn't you say too that they hired Gallant on June 13th? So 2 years ago. He only lasted 2 years to the day. Well, I guess
he
a little-
lasted
a
less.
little less.
Yeah, he lasted less than that.
So I guess June 13th is the day if we ever need another head coach to go off of.
I want to know what
number
jersey.
39.
39. Oh God,
Well,
that's how you know
Rangers
he's
posted
one-
a picture of him.
I love it. Look at that
The
helmet.
one good.
Is that a Jaffa?
I sent it to the
No,
group.
that's a Cooper.
It's a Cooper.
A
It's the
Cooper,
message.
yeah. I couldn't really see it.
I'm sending it to you guys in the chat.
God, those.
I
Um,
can't tell what the jersey manufacturer could it have been starter. No, that's too early for starter.
I sent Oscar a starter jersey. I saw it on Facebook Marketplace. A blank Ranger starter for $60.
He probably grabbed it.
I sent him the link, and then he sent me an Inter Miami jersey. It's like, I don't want this.
Yeah, he said he's got Inter Miami jerseys for sale if anyone wants a messy
Nice.
kit.
Well, I'll ask him how much, I guess. Maybe he'll give me a deal.
I think he wants you to help him sell them because I told him about Fio and Mila.
Oh, I could definitely do that. We'll talk it through. A little partnership action. That's what
Yeah,
we're
so
here
if,
for, Oscar.
if you're looking for an Inter Miami jersey, head on over to Oscars PSH and tell them the boys from Rangers Ed sent you.
Yeah,
and
man.
if you're looking for a great slice of pizza, head on over to Sorrento's.
No segue there for Coach.
It's a great transition.
Speaking of Sorrento's, they opened up their neighboring right next door a little cafe, coffee, pastry shop.
A little
right-
gelato.
Yeah, right next door to the butcher / deli, Italian deli, whatever pizzeria. They opened a little sit-down place with Wi-Fi and a little coffee shop with Italian pastries, rainbow cookies, you name
That's
it.
dangerous.
So, yeah, I saw some pictures on Instagram of the final product, and looks great. So, yeah, they're expanding the biz a little bit.
Well, they had the pastry shop in the original store. They had nice pastries and stuff.
Yeah, now this is like a whole separate. They literally bought or renting out the property or whatever, the store right next door.
Nice.
And, they redid it, and it looks great. So head on over to Sorrento's on the West End in Long Beach. Tell them boys from Rangers Ed sent you and get the whole experience. Whole meal.
Little cappuccino.
And a cappuccino.
I love
Espresso.
that. Quick beer, eh?
They have those too.
So with the finals over, we have a Stanley Cup champion. The NHL season is officially over. We're probably going to see some trade activity. There's really not going to be much going on other than trades. So, I mean, who knows if the Rangers make anybody available, try to clear some cap, maybe a hockey trade. We might hop on, have some news to talk about like that. But we got the buyout period. I don't really think anyone's a candidate to buy out except maybe Gaudreau, but that would be dumb when he could probably be traded if they want to move him. Then we got the NHL draft, NHL awards. I think the awards come first, then the draft, and then free agency opens July 1st. So with a coach in place, the Rangers are set up to move forward with their off season. This is about the same time they hired a coach last time. So they know what they're doing with that, and we'll see what happens, I guess.
I really want to know what the interview process is. I would love to hear the conversation.
Coach, you got to send an application in next time. They'll fire Laviolette in 2 years.
I just want to, yeah.
Two
I just
second
want to
round
be.
exits.
I just
And then
want
you
to
put
be
the
interviewed.
application.
I want to hear what he's asking. Like, does he say does he give scenarios like saying, what would you do if Panarin plays the first period and gives the puck away 5 times?
No, probably not. Probably not. His scenario is probably like questions are probably like, what are you gonna do to get Alexi Lafreniere going? What are you gonna do to get Panarin to perform in the playoffs? Like, it's probably not like, okay, hypothetical. It's the second period. The score is 3-2. The puck's in the neutral zone. Panarin gets it, makes a cross-ice pass. It gets intercepted and leads to a goal. Now you're losing. The goalie's pissed. The players on the bench are angry. Panarin comes back to the bench and acts like he doesn't care. What do you do? No, he's not gonna do that.
I don't know. That sounds pretty good to me. It's like the Herb Brooks
What would
test.
you do?
What would I do?
Yeah.
Probably bench him, mostly for acting like you don't care in that scenario than the actual giveaway. You just want to see, as a fan, right? You just want to see these players care, man. That's it. So I think the biggest issue I have with Panarin is he's just a little nonchalant. That's why I like the shaved head thing. It's just something. Change it up. Like, don't be so nonchalant about your contract and your career. Like, go win a cup, dude. Don't you want it? Feels like he, a little bit like he didn't really care that much, that he underperformed. But we'll see. I mean, Coach, we can ask Laviolette what his interview process was like when Sean at Hockey Night in New York hooks us up with a Laviolette interview. I guess we're all going to run and listen to Sean's pod now and the Laviolette interview, right? Get some insight.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to have to talk to Shawnee over there.
I mean, that would have been good to do before we had this episode.
Now we're definitely not going to get him.
Well, we had very little notice from the time of the hire to the episode. So, I mean, don't be so critical, Coach.
Yeah.
Wait, he already posted that interview, right?
Yeah, I think it was like a month ago. Probably a little bit longer than that. I think it was right after the Islanders lost or got eliminated. But speaking of Shawnee, he wants to put together a Rangers Ed versus Hockey Night in New York paintball trip out east.
Oh my God.
So hopefully get a date for you guys soon, and we need some backup. So if we got any paintballers out there, let me know.
I've never played paintball or done that before, but
it's the best. I love it.
Sounds devastating.
So
yeah, but I don't want to play when you're behind those cushions and stuff. I want to play when you're in the woods.
Yeah, we'll do the one out east.
Coach wants to reenact the Battle of Vicksburg.
Yeah, we did it. We had a great time. We had at Greco, my uncle. We had 40-something. We had a whole team. We had 40 people.
What was the place that we went to with? Yeah.
Well, you play like multiple games,
MT, Mike.
Same place. It's like High Velocity or something out east.
Yeah, you rent it. You rent it for like the whole day or like 4 hours, and you just like go around to the different like maps, they call it, like different like areas, and you just like enter a game. And yeah, if you get hit, you're supposed to. Yeah, you got a face shield, and that's really it.
No, when we played, you only got goggles, those clear goggles.
You get goggles, and you get like the thing over your face, like a.
Yeah, we didn't get that.
Yeah. What about like body protection? Do you get hit in the heart?
Whatever you
want to. What happens then?
Whatever you want to wear, you got to sign a waiver.
Yeah, those waivers, by the way, wouldn't work. So anyway,
let me tell you, it was an eerie feeling of someone shooting at you, even though it wasn't real.
Absolutely.
It's a strange feeling.
It gives a taste, just a taste of what it could be possibly like to be in an actual war. But yeah, we're definitely looking forward. I want to do that with him. So we're gonna set up a date.
How many people we gotta get?
Well, it sounds like Sean's an experienced paintballer. So
no, he said he's not.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't trust him.
Maybe you should do a Rangers Ed Hockey Night in New York golf tournament on your.
That's
your
what we
course.
wanted to do. That's another.
So you guys,
thing, but-
you guys spank him on the golf course, and then he can shoot us on the paintball arena. He's like, yeah, come do what I'm good at. We'll throw against you. But anyway, yeah, that sounds fun. I'd be down for that. I've never done it, so we'll see. I'll wear what's it called? What's the paintball equivalent of like a bulletproof vest?
Kevlar.
Just wear like a bubble jacket. It'd be good.
A bubble jacket.
Ed, come out in the Gore-Tex jacket like Costanza.
I come out like that big ghost in the white ghost of Ghostbusters. What am I thinking of? Jesus, my brain has stopped working. All right, I think we're getting a little off the rails here. All right, so we'll be back next week. Hopefully with some key news, like our key contributor, Bella Italia Marvel. We're just forcing the ads this week, boys. We're forcing them in.
It's a tough
Squeeze
one.
them in.
It's a tough one. We love these sponsors. We love you guys. Thank you very much. But we're a little punch drunk.
You got to check out Bella if you need any marble and granite, tabletops, kitchen counters, whatever. They'll do a good job for you. So check them out in Oceanside. But boys, I think this will about do it for this one. We got a new coach. We'll see what happens. Panarin's got a shaved head, so we'll monitor the growth of his hair. Keep you guys updated on the follicles, and we'll go from there.
Also, don't forget about Shank It Golf. I posted a few videos and pictures of me playing over the weekend, and the shirt's really nice. It fits real nice, and the hat was great. It sprinkled on me a little bit on Friday, and the hat dried right up. Kept my head dry, and it's good stuff. So I was pleasantly surprised. I'm going to post a little unboxing video soon, probably this week at some point. So head on over to shankitgolf.com and use promo code EDPOD for 15% off.
Yeah, check them out too. Definitely if you want to join us in the Hockey Night in New York Rangers Ed golf tournament, which I won't play in because we'll lose. Then
that's what handicaps are for.
Get your Shank It golf gear for that.
Yep.
You got your tournament coming up, right?
Yeah, July 29th.
Summer.
Yeah.
You got
July
a charity
29th,
or something?
We're gonna have it for Live for Evan again. The Children's Heart charity up in Boston. So I'm going to be posting about that in the next month or leading up to it. So if there's anybody out there that wants to play or submit a foursome, you're more than welcome. And if you just want to make a generous donation, you're welcome to do that as well. I have T-box signs, raffles, anything you'd like, and just reach out to me. We'd love to have you. Yeah, definitely keep us up to date on that. And everybody else, enjoy your summer. We'll be back when we got something to update you on. We got to do our off-season preview
and a salary cap.
Yep. Yeah, Coach Ed's still got to do his what's it called?
I sent you guys the link to that. I didn't send you the Excel, Coach. Sorry, but I sent you the link.
Can't you just figure it out for me?
You're $7 million over the cap.
I'm just gonna tell you what I want to do. You figure it out.
Yeah. But anyway, we're gonna do a little off-season preview.
While you're relaxing in the morning, figure it out.
Honestly, what I do a lot in the morning is go on Cap Friendly and just play around with trades and look at the salary cap. I really do that. I try and figure out who would be interested in Zach Jones. What could they get? You know, if they remove Panarin, who can afford him? Who would even want him? I start looking at the other teams and I just play around with it, and then time passes. But anyway, everyone likes to do what they like to do, you know? Some people work out, other people, do nothing like me. So it is what it is.
There you go. To each his own.
All right, boys. Until next week.
Right.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Have a good night.
Good night.